Well, of course, I'm going to say that designers have made it a better place. I mean, I just think in terms of beauty or improvement, progress. I mean, human beings lean forward. They are facing forward, which means that innovation, new possibilities are really, really important. If you're trying to find the discourse between the functional and the rational against the purely emotional, I think it's best expressed like this. Concord was going to be discovered because Concord is an act of physics and engineering. Okay? So it was only a matter of time before engineers would discover Concord. But only Michelangelo could make David. It's the difference between one and multiplicity. I think once you've got multiplicity, like in the iPhone is to many a wonderful piece of design, but actually it's just a wonderful piece of engineering. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, there's no room for experimentation really. It's an equation that you arrive at. And if you want to be a good designer, you need to follow that path, of course, because you need to conform to the rules of economics and materials and resources. But the other side is more interesting. So I'm interested in the balance between being able to be authoritative as a designer, you know, with all that requires, but then to absolutely stand apart from it and distort the facts in search of something actually fresh. So I think the Train by Loewy, it ticked all the boxes in terms of function and technology and everything. It was just a really great shape, and you know, for the love of form, I mean, form can be enough. People's approach to the object is not linguistic. They're not reading anything. They're feeling and experiencing something. They go, and it's a tactile experience. You see people in a trade fair, they just go and touch. They know the tap will deliver water. They don't need to be told. So there's a deep emotional pull, and I think in my work that's really with the respect for materials and form. That's the first thing that touches you, and it draws you in. And then, of course, if it's logical beyond that, hopefully it sells. So quality of life is very important, and I think designers do highlight quality of life, even if it's highlighting the past and bringing that back, or you know, people like myself who are firmly standing in what's next. You know, I think it's all acceptable. You know, working for VitrA, what I've been trying to do is break down this barrier that the bathroom was some kind of butcher's shop full of tiles and stuff where you're going to throw some animal. I mean, all you're doing really is a shower. You're wetting yourself a little bit. It's very domestic. It's you know, what about the acoustics? What about the feeling of being naked next to objects? You know, it's not a kitchen. It's a bathing place. You know, and so, you know, I haven't really had the chance yet to, in the collections I've done, to really open that up. I mean, that would be wonderful. You know, design and the thinking process and the innovation that comes with that is very important. You know, Johnny Ive always says, it's very easy to be different and stupid. It's really difficult to be different and intelligent. And you see in this world we're in, at the Milan Fair, you see headless stuff that doesn't pull you in, and that's why all the great designers that we talk about and know about, they're there for a reason. They're there because they're fundamentally thinkers. Ironically, one of the reasons I keep going is I still don't think I've done exactly what I want to do. And you know, every few years your ideas change, your sense of purpose changes, and you know, you could, it sounds crazy, but every 5 years you could design a set of cutlery as your knowledge improves, or you might be in a restaurant and touch something from the 20s and think, God, that's incredible, maybe I could put that into some cutlery. So one of the best questions, or the best question I've ever been asked, was by a 14-year-old girl in a school who, after a talk, she said, do you ever feel like going back and remaking your projects? Because they're never good enough, you understand me? That you always want to go back. And maybe that's what you do. You reach an age where you just revise everything and you clean it up. And cleaning up means not just design, but remember, you can have the most beautiful piece of design in the world. If it's photographed badly, shown badly, you know, it's a waste. That's why we all photograph all our own work ourselves and pay our own money, because that's often what we're left with. And so it's not just the design, it's the whole aura of it. And yeah, so I'm not satisfied by the commercial world at all, but that's not the first time I've said that. And I work in the sphere of art too, and I always say quietly, you know, if I had the courage, I'd give it all up. And I would go and sculpt like Tony Cragg. I'd do. I mean, my teeth would go brown, I'd end up looking terrible and the whole thing, but I wouldn't need to look good because I'd be doing it for other reasons. But every time I slip that way, something comes up, some technology hits me, there's a space program or a car or something, I go, oh, no, better not tell anybody about that dream. Because I think you can put it into the project. So in short, I try and put the art value into my industrial work. That's what I do, the bottiglie d'acqua, you know, things like that. Yeah.